Hello everybody. I have been requested to break down the AR and show you how to clean it and oil it. All right, so per your request, that is what I'm going to show you right now. The only thing you're going to need is your choice of lubricating oil, cleaner. This is a cleaner / lubricant, Ballistol, but there's plenty of other brands out there. So if you see CLP, that's cleaner, lubricant, and protectant. Let's get into this a little bit. You'll need a rag. You see I got a towel laid down. You'll need another rag to do some wiping. Bore brush you can use. You may have a cleaning kit with different things. Some people use the bore snake. I actually have one, but it's in my other bag. But it's just a string with a little weight on it, and it has brushes on it. So you can use a bunch of different ways to actually clean the barrel out. This is my 300 blackout. So this is a 30 caliber barrel, as opposed to a 223, which is a 22 caliber barrel, which is really small. So you have to use the brush that'll fit whatever barrel you're cleaning. I'm just showing you this. This is actually not gonna fit. Okay, you can see I'm trying to jam it down there, but I'm just showing you what you can use. My AR is already clean. Okay, so I'm just demonstrating what it would take to clean it. Okay, so you make sure you use the correct size brush for your application. All right, so let's get down to it. First thing you want to do whenever you whenever you do anything with the firearm, especially indoors or around your family, is make sure the magazine is out and make sure the barrel is clear. Make sure the chamber is clear. Okay, so let's do that now. So I'm going to take the mag out. As you can see, there are live rounds in my AR. There are live rounds. Okay, this is a real world application, y'all. Real world application. These are real bullets. Okay, so that is out of there, and then you want to rack the slide to make sure nothing is in there. I'm gonna show you guys nothing is in there. Can you see that? Can you see that? Nothing in there. Okay, so now it is clear, it is safe. I can actually pull the trigger, nothing happens. Okay, so now you have your pins. This is your pivot pin back here. This is your takedown. This is your takedown pin. This is your pivot pin. Okay, so I'm going to show that up close. Pivot pin, takedown pin, pivot pin. Okay, so on the back side, you can just press on them. Okay, to get it to where you can grab it on the other side and pull it out. For some people, this may not be really easy. So on some of my other ARs, I actually put customized pins on there where there's more of a handle to grab, but these are just the factory style pins. So again, push on the one side. Okay. And pull them out. Okay, so now it is both are out. You can actually separate the two. All right, we'll come to this in a minute. There's really nothing to do here. Okay, so all your cleaning is gonna be here. All right, so the way I like to do it, you don't have to, is just turn it upside down, pull the charging handle, slide out the bolt carrier group, okay, and slide out the charging handle. Okay, so for those that may not know exactly where to there are, if you look at one of my other videos, I show you how to pull this out, but there's a slot down in there if you look, and that slot will allow these two notches right here these two notches to actually come so far, and then you can lift up. Okay, so if you look down in there, you'll see a spot where those line up. Okay, and you can kind of see that. I don't know if you can see down in there, but that's what you got to do. Okay, so now that's out. All right, so now we're going to set the upper to the side. We're going to deal with the bolt carrier and the charging handle. Okay, so to take down the bolt carrier, what I use is a safety pin. I've been known to, when my nails, I went to the nail shop, so you know I kind of got a little manicure. They chop me down, but I usually can just get in there with my nails and grab that out. But safety pins work great. Anything that's small and has a point. Okay, so there's a little cotter pin here. Okay, the one side is really small hole, and the other side is a bigger hole. You want to go to where the bigger hole is. And you can just stick that down in there and grab it. Okay. And then you just pull it out. And that's the little cotter pin. Okay. Put that down. And then now you can actually get the fire pin out. So now that's the firing pin. So that's what retains the firing pin. Okay. So basically, sorry about that. Okay. So the firing pin is usually down in here, like that. And once you take the cotter pin out, all you have to do is just dump it out. Okay. Now you have a cam pin. So this is the position of the cam pin when you take it out. Okay, can you see that? Okay, so what you want to do is you want to turn it like that. You want to turn it to where it's straight, as opposed to being like that. So you just turn it, okay, and then you want this in. You want to just pull it just out, just slightly, not all the way. Because if you pull it all the way, you see it disappears under the gas key. So you want to get it to where you can actually pull it out, okay? So now we pull it out, okay? You can just pull it out. All right, set that to the side. Now you can get the bolt out. All right, so now the bolt is out. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, this is not clean. I guess I did use it a time or two. So now you have the bolt, you have the carrier, the bolt. That's why they call this the bolt carrier group, because when they're together, it's a group. So you have the carrier with the gas key, the bolt itself, you have the cam pin and the cotter pin and the firing pin. All right. So now what you do, get the safety pin out the way. Another thing that works good, if you guys are Android users, with your phone, it comes with a really little pointy, a slim little pick to get your SIM card out. Those are great for getting that cotter pin out. So if you don't have anything, grab a safety pin, throw it in your firing, in your bag, in your range bag or whatever, because it comes in handy. All right. So now, only thing you have to do is just spray everything down. Okay. So use the cleaner and lubricant of your choice and just liberally just spray everything down. Okay. Nothing wrong with getting in there and making sure everything has a good amount of oil on it and everything. Same with the charging handle. Spray both sides and you just let it sit. Okay. Cam pin, firing pin, everything. Get it all. Even the cotter pin. Why not? It's out. You don't have to do the cotter pin, but hey, it don't hurt. So now what you want to do is just let everything sit. Okay. Mine is not really all that dirty. It has a little bit of carbon buildup, but it's not, where it just needs to sit. But if you've been doing a lot of shooting, let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Once it has time to soak, all you want to do is just take a rag. You can take a brush. If yours is like really caked up and, you know, have a lot of stuff, you could take a brush. You can even take the brush like this and just get in there and get all that stuff out of there. Okay. Just make sure you agitate it all and clean everything up. It doesn't hurt, okay, to just get things clean. So you can use a brush, you can use a rag. I'm just kind of doing this just to demonstrate, okay? It doesn't hurt to, you know, make sure everything is clean, okay? You're not gonna hurt this. This is all hardened metal, okay? So nothing is gonna hurt this. So you just want to get in there and just anywhere where you see carbon, you get in there and you clean it all up. Okay, make this quick and easy. And then once you get everything cleaned up and wiped off, wipe it all off. Get everywhere you can. That's what you want to do. You want to get it all cleaned up. Okay. Cleaning kits come with the little wipes that you stick in. I wish I would have brought that out, but if you buy a cleaning kit, there's some wipes that usually come in with the kit. You can buy them separately, and you can use those wipes to do the same thing I'm doing here. I always keep a towel or two in my bag, because if I ever need to break it down, I like to be able to protect the surface that I'm working on and have something to wipe with. Okay. Paper towels work, but I keep a towel with me pretty much everywhere I go. It's always in my range bag. Okay, so as you can see, that's nice and clean. No carbon. And you do the same thing with everything. So once you get everything nice and oiled up, and you just wipe it all down. And I'll show you what I do. There are many videos out there that will tell you how to oil, you know, where to oil, where not to oil. I'm telling you what I do and what works for me. And I don't like to over oil. There's really no need to. But with an AR, if you're running it a lot, like a lot, put a little bit more oil. I don't run mine just all the time, and I have more than one. So even when I'm out there doing a lot of shooting, I'm usually dividing it up amongst other firearms, pistols and whatnot. So I'm just showing you what I do. Okay. So you just get everything all nice and wiped off. And what you want to do, okay, so like right here, I feel a little bit of extra carbon buildup. I can feel that. It's a little bit rough there. So I'm going to soak this down a little bit more. And I'm going to let this sit just to break this up a little bit. Okay. And so while that's sitting there waiting to be put back together, now I want to explain to you the upper. So if you look inside the chamber, there's your feed ramp and your barrel there. So right here, you want to actually shoot some oil down in there, okay, down in the barrel. And feel free to be plentiful. Nothing wrong with having a bunch of oil down in there to break up whatever carbon is in there, okay? So I like to make sure there's plenty in there, and you let that sit, okay? So I'm gonna let that do what it do right there. Okay. So now when it's time, let me go ahead and get this little extra carbon off of here. So like I said, these brushes can be used. Some people use hard bristle toothbrushes. Some people, you know, have tools out in their garage and they use wire brushes. You're not gonna hurt this, okay? Don't go crazy, but you do want it to be nice and clean and you want everything to run smoothly. Okay, I can feel I pretty much got all of that off of there, but there was a little bit of buildup right there. Okay, so just make sure everything is clean. Be mindful of your gas keys, okay? These little rings are your gas keys. All right, if you have a problem with low pressure, or the gun is not, or your firearm is not cycling correctly, and you can't find any other issue, the gas rings, I'm sorry, I keep calling it gas key. The gas rings can be the problem also. So make sure that your gas rings are there, they're not broken. And when you stick it back into the carrier, okay, you should feel some little bit of friction there. It shouldn't just fall in. If it just falls in without you kind of having to push it in, then you know your gas rings are going or already gone. Okay. So get that all cleaned up. And I did build this AR myself. I actually have it registered as an assault weapon. Here in California, we have to do that if you don't want to have all these extra contraptions on your firearm, on your AR. So I registered it as assault weapon, and that way I don't have to put all that extra stuff on there. So that was my choice. Some people call me crazy, and that's their opinion, and I'm good with that. Okay, so now it's time to go back together. Okay, so what I do, just a little, spray the bolt. Okay, you don't have to go crazy with that. And then you see the hole. Okay, see the hole. You want to line it up to where that opening shows that hole. Okay, so you can see if I dump this out, this won't come out. The gas rings are actually keeping that in there. Okay, so if yours don't do that, your gas rings are toast. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to line that up. It's a little dark. My lighting is not the greatest, but when you stick that in there, you'll see where that hole is right lined up where you can drop this pin back in. Okay, so once you get the hole lined up in that little slot right there, you drop the pin back in. Okay, so now the pin is back in. Okay, and you turn it like it was. So that's how it is when you first put it back in. You want to turn it to where it looks like that. Okay. So now you can drop the firing pin back in. So you just put the firing pin in this little opening right here and just drop it down in there. And it should go all the way in. It should be seated in there like that. Okay. Now you put the cotter pin back. So the cotter pin should just go right back in. You may have to turn it a little or whatever, but you want to get it all the way in that hole until it is completely flush. Okay. There we go. So it just wasn't lining up with the hole. Okay. So now it is flush. Okay. It's not sticking up at all. It's all the way down in that hole. Okay. So now you make sure that the bolt is all the way out. All right. So now this is where the bolt makes contact with the inside of the barrel with the feed ramp and everything. So what you want to do is put a little lube there. Okay. That's what I do. Okay. And then your rails are here. and then you have the rail at the top, and it's just these little notches here. Okay, so you have one here, then it breaks right here, then there's another little piece here, then you have the long one down at the bottom. Okay, and then on the other side you have the long one at the bottom, this little rail here, and then you have the two pieces here, one here, one here. Okay, that's where you want the oil to be. So you could just, okay, that's sufficient. Okay, some people like to do more. Feel free, you go right ahead and you do what you need to do. Okay, but that's how I run mine. I have not had any issues with a dry gun. You can always pull that bolt and re-oil if you need to, if you're running it a whole lot. Being in the field and using it in a combat situation, you're going to probably want more oil than that because you'll be running a lot more rounds through it. The charging handle, you can kind of see where you should put oil on your charging handle because you'll see the wear. The notches, you can see where the black is kind of gone off of it. So just look at your charging handle. There's a little, you can see where it's rubbed the black off of this little notch right here, and then a little bit off the notches, and then you can see like minimal wear on here. So if you just want to oil the charging handle, this is all you have to do. That's it. Nothing major. Okay. Inside the upper, there's a tube down in there. See that little chrome tube down in there? That's your gas tube. That's what pressure that blows that bolt back when you fire, and it blows it back, and then it recycles, and that's the tube right there. So what you do is you want to just spray some down in there. Okay. And same thing, you can run your brush or paper towel or a towel. I do a little bit of everything, just whatever it takes to get down in there. So right now I'm pushing it far enough in there to clean that feed ramp area. Okay, this is a brush that I use with my 9mm, my 45, and my 40 cal, but it's enough to get in there and clean those teeth out. But in order to clear the whole barrel, you want to get a brush that will go all the way down the barrel, all the way in. Okay, so any cleaning kit that's meant for rifles, and you just get the ones that use the brushes and the accessories that go with whatever caliber you're using. Okay, so I'm just cleaning that little area out right now. I'm not going all the way down the barrel because I don't have that brush with me right now, but I'll get all of this nice and clean. And then you just run. You can use your fingers, you can use sometimes I've been known to take a screwdriver on top of my towel just to get all down in those crevices. Flat blade screwdriver. Just be careful not to bend or damage your gas tube. The key is to just get the carbon out. Okay, so the wipes are good for this. Okay, so you just basically get all in there and just get whatever you can out, and trust me, it'll be sufficient. Most people are not running and gunning and being heavy shooters, and if you are a heavy shooter, then this video you probably wouldn't even need it, because you know how to clean your firearm at that point. So you just get down in there, push that rag down in there, and just get as much out of there as you can. Okay, the key is to make sure that it's clean and has lube. Okay, you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to be a professional. to clean. Okay. All right, so now if you look down in there, you can see it's nice and clean. Okay. All right, so now it's time to go back together. So as you can see, I never wiped off the charging handle. It still has that light coating of oil. So you stick it in there. And you'll find those slots that it drops down into. Okay, it just dropped down in there. Once it drops down, okay, it just dropped down. Just push it in, just enough to hold it in place. Okay. Make sure the bolt is completely out. Okay. And I did do a light coating, but I just had my hand on it, so I'm just gonna lightly spritz it like that. Put the gas key inside the rail of the charging handle. That little rail right there. So just put the gas key in there. Bam. It's back in. Okay. So now, just give the outside a nice wipe down. Okay. Make sure there's no oil on it. Like that. Just making sure everything is good. All right, so now your firearm is back together and ready for assembly. When it comes down to the lower, there literally is nothing to clean here. Okay. If you want to wipe things down, feel free. The best way that I would do it is spray the rag. Okay. Spray the rag and then just kind of wipe things down. You can wipe all in the all inside the mag well. You know, you can wipe off the hammer. You know, you're not really gonna have a whole bunch of buildup inside your lower, but it doesn't hurt to stick a rag down in there and just clean things up a little bit if you want to. Not absolutely necessary. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I probably do this maybe once every 5 or 6 cleanings. I'll get in here and just get whatever I can and get it out, but that's not really necessary. So your pins are out. Okay, the pins are out. Make sure you have the pins out. All right, and when it's time to put it back together, you want to line up the front pin, this pin here. I mean these holes here, and the rear hole. It's easy to just rest that part right into the hole. Okay, and then go all the way down. Okay, and then push the pins in. Okay, you are ready to go. Cycle it a few times. Good to go. And I always do keep my firearms loaded and ready. So if you have kids around, if you have any other person in your house that will have access to your firearms, you be really careful about keeping bullets in your firearm, because if something happens with your firearm while it's in your house, if someone is able to grab it and have an accident with it, you could be liable for whatever happens. Okay, so keep that in mind. There's nothing but grown folks in my house. It's me and my wife, and my wife is not going to touch this unless it's absolutely necessary, but she does know that all of my firearms have magazines full of rounds in them. I usually don't keep one in the chamber because it only takes a hot second to grab it and rack it. Okay, so just be mindful of that. I hope this video helped you guys. I hope it wasn't long and boring.